to the HouseRivalries Nations Division. It's week 6, about to go down into it, the nitty-gritty. It is going to be a super intense fun fest as we have the top 2 fighting, not for playoffs this time. This is basically for seeding at this moment. It's going to be Helsinki Mastermind versus Brussels Brawlers. With me is also Mr. Omni Toaster. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I am pretty good. How are you, Barry?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a while since we've casted together, since Monkey Bubble. So it's going to be fun to jump into a totally different esport. And we have some interesting decks coming in. There was something that you noticed within one of the lineups, I believe.
Well, that's the Highlander Hunter brought by Helsinki, which I believed was the famous Zalay Hunter, but I think it is Zalay Hunter with some changes. I don't think it's exactly. Is a fairly mech-heavy version of our Highlander Hunter, which is very much what he was going for with his version. So yeah, we got the War Gears, the Zilliaxes, that early game with the Mecharoos, the upgradable Framebots, Venomizers. They're both apparently pretty hard for us to say. Yeah, more of a mech-focused version of the deck over the Beast version that we so often see.
Yeah, that's very true. But I mean, sometimes the mech will, with the Highlander Hunter tends to be what is so easy to proc Death Rouse and whatnot, but it does require you to pretty much be able to. It's a very awkward balancing act of like making sure you have enough board pressure that you don't have to start resurrecting mechs right away, because there's such a weird lackluster amount of mechs in some ways, and there's not a lot of people that use the legendary mech as well to obtain more death rattles. Yeah. It's just all about it's sometimes just about the mech whelp, if you will, that's just like so focused on getting those 7/7s. But I'm looking at the list right now.
It is not in there.
There is
no mechanical whelp in the deck. The mechs are really kind of that early curve, and then he has the Unleash the Beast Dino Tamer Brand Zul'jin as that end game finishing power. The rest of the decks from these two teams, just quickly. Helsinki, their priest has been banned, so they have a warlock, an aggro warrior, and that hunter that we were just mentioning. And Brussels, their warrior has been banned. It was a control warrior, so they're bringing a quest shaman, a quest druid, and the priest into this game.
It's interesting though that they would ban it though. It's a very slow control warrior, especially with the Archivist Elysiana in the deck. So I'm just going to be curious as to how they deal with such a long game, because like maybe with their aggression, like I feel like the Zoolock has a pretty good chance of beating the Control Warrior a lot of the times, because Control Warrior can't really develop or deal with anything right away.
Yeah.
Like the best thing it can do is like a Warpath on turn 4, and even then sometimes 2 damage isn't enough, because Warlock could have the nuts, and then Grim Rally happens, then you have just stuff that's like a bunch of 1/3s and 2/3s, and you're just like, gosh, I have nothing to do. So
equally, however, the priest can have a pretty rough time against the warlock. The druid has a horrible time against the warlock in this, like we saw last week. The druid just has the perfect game, and even then they lost. They got close to winning. So the warlock is definitely favored there. And against the shaman, it is slightly better. They do have some earlier removal. They get a lot more lackeys. They have the mutates onto the Mogu Flesh Shapers, so they do have a bit of a better time. But none of those decks are massively happy to be going up against Zoo, particularly.
Yeah. So, do you think not banning the priest was ideal?
I think Zoo is just pretty happy to be going up against the priest. Yeah. So I think you're more likely to have all of your stuff removed by just the warrior. Obviously, you can flood the board against them just as easily as any other deck. But I think they're going to have the better time against it, because they can just do a 2-path at the start, give it all 2 HP minions on turn 4, 3 with the coin. So I think there is definitely kind of the opportunity here for this Zoolock to just go 3 in a row, where the warrior would be the one that's most likely to shut that down.
Yeah, that's very true. I think the best thing that can go up against the Zoolock right now is either a really good quest druid opening, as this is going to be the Nami druid, with also Cenarius and King Feoris going in. This is going to be very interesting to see, because this is like there's so much late game option, and they're really focused on trying to get these. Well, I mean, there's just a lot of play styles that you can work around. Mulligan can be really strong. I also think that the Quest Shaman will be really good, It looks like we're about to get into game, and it looks like a couple of we missed a turn, but it's okay. Mulligan as well, but here we go. We're about to get into it. It is going to be the priest, and this is the big thing I'm worried about because since Brussels priest was not banned, we'll have to wait and see what happens here.
Yeah, just trying to get as much early pressure on the board. The mech are a really nice way to guarantee you have something to magnetize on. So nice and quick, clean kill. I can't do vowels today, apparently. I'm really struggling with them, but yeah, quick clean kill onto the Light Warden. And this this mech now again has that death rattle to summon more mechs, even more stuff to guarantee a little bit of a magnetize onto it. Power World Shield is going to get out of range of dying, however. So that cleric going to stick and another Light Warden drawn. You certainly don't play that Light Warden. Now you're just going to go for the other Power World Shield. Up to 7.
Well, I mean, that's all the draw gone. I mean, it's a 1/7, so it's going to live for a long time. I don't think there's any the poisonous mech. I don't think they have that online for them right now. I think looking at... No, they do have one Venomizer. Checking out, this feels terrible. This is... I guess you go Savannah Highmane, or if you feel like you want to create more threat, you could go for the Howlmaster. But you forego the Leroy. The Leroy's just not going to get you anything done here.
No, and I mean, the Howlmaster is coming down earlier, but not onto a beast. They're gonna opt to go for it though. It's just a body that they could get down next turn, curve it out.
Yeah, I mean it's something at least. It's definitely a couple less turns to wait for, and they're hoping that maybe they'll high roll into a beast at some point soon as well. So
yeah,
Pyromancer are coming off.
Yeah, the Psycho Pump does bring back a Light Warden. And the Circle is there as well, so it would be a draw if you were to bump into the free one. With the two. Just the 2/1/1s off of that.
I think maybe you just don't do anything. I think maybe you wait the next turn. You could just arm your Pyromancer. Yeah,
Pyro and Circle here clears both of those 1/1s.
Get a lot of draw.
Yeah, get 3 cards. Sorry, just the 1 card because of ordering, and that's how that works. But then the heal can come in onto the Pyro, keep it up. We see, however, that there's not really that much of a punish for this. Unless a mech comes that can magnetize onto this frame drop.
Like the Venomizer would be huge.
And that's entirely... Yeah, I mean, the Venomizer is a...
This is really smart!
Yeah, topsy-turvy off the top. Just going to clear that off.
Oh...
I mean, you can sure on
Curve. Bad hand.
Just dies if they opt for the
they could live. Ooh,
extra
my
arms.
gosh! Yeah, they could go arms once, and then do you play the 2-man minion and heal up everything?
If you arms once, it goes down to 5, and then the 5/2 can hit into it, but if you never set Ritualist first, then you get 2 good cards, and your Pyromancer will still survive with the never set Ritualist heal, kill the Shore, draw 2 cards. That's a turn.
And then you get a couple of cards for your trouble.
Yeah. If you keep your Pyro...
There's the Inner Fire.
And there's the Inner Fire for next turn.
Well, do you Inner Fire next turn? Oh, well, I guess you could Interfire the Northshire Cleric.
Yeah, that's what I was
Faded Arrow is huge here.
Yeah, get your 7/7, but yeah, the Faded Arrow is nice. Does actually finally give them something to get onto board.
They can't ignore it, but actually, you know what they could? They could ignore it, because there's literally nothing that they can do here. Even with a kill command, the 5/5 would still have to die. So, yeah. I think they could just, you know what? They could arms Interfire here. And they would just be good to go. And
have your 9/9.
Yeah. If they wanted to. I mean, the game of Priest is just... Oh, okay, so they're going to keep the 7/7. And I guess maybe use arms to heal it?
Let's see that get the 2 draws. buff that up and keep the arms as another flexible option.
That's true. Spread the love. Ahmed! It's a little late though. Oh, Circle of Healing though. Okay. I'll get one extra card and I'll go
two
back
extra
to
cards.
and another Inner Fire. This is great. So now what can they do with that? They could arm something. This is looking bad.
Yeah, this hunter has this is just well and truly being priested.
The hunter's like, why don't I have Dr. Boom? Why can't I get Rush with Max? My life would be so much easier.
Yeah, a 4-3 can go down, but it can also just be fairly effectively ignored. Next turn, the Tiamat does something to take some power off the board, but we would have to. I mean, you can't take down the 7/7 on its own.
Yeah, Helsinki is not having a good time. Brussels looks like they're going to be able to close this out. I think there's maybe even lethal. Could there be lethal? Actually, yes. If you arms the other North Shire or arms the priest, you can go in your fire, or they could just set it up for next turn.
Yeah, I don't think they're in enough pressure. If you arms it, you'd have to find an extra 12 damage.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they could only find an extra 10.
Oh, let's see here. Nope, they're dead.
Yeah, they could only find an extra 10 damage that turn, so they could get close to it, but I mean, this way just guarantees that in one more turn. They can get Rush and Wind Fury, so taking down 2 minions. Or just the 1 armor, but it's still not going to be enough to keep them alive. So you can see that they have the Divine Spirit Inner Fire onto the 1/7, which is going to be enough to close out this game. Nice and easily and comfortably. They wouldn't even need the Divine Spirit, just the Inner Fire on the Acolyte, and that is going to be 14 damage going face. And very quickly, that game is going to go down to the priest, Brussels. Finding game 1.
Unsurprised. Brussels. When you don't ban the priest, you get priest. That's pretty much the way it goes. If you just gotta say no to the priest, man. I'm not too big of a fan, because especially the fact Helsinki has a Zoolock, so they're perfectly fine to just take on that control warrior. So we'll see. Also, their aggro warrior. It's not even a control warrior. Even if the warrior went up against the other warrior, probably Helsinki's warrior would have won. So now, well, it's last year standing, so the hunter's gone. Yep. So they probably queue up into, I assume,
it has to be the
zoo. Warlock. Yeah.
I hope it's the zoo that we're seeing next. I really, really do. Yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate as well. Okay, we got the warrior instead. Similar situation in terms of how the decks function. And that's a fairly nice opening hand if they do choose to keep it.
It will. And this is also a very nice hand for
situation.
That's Brussels.
Yeah, I mean, that hunter game as well was kind of unfortunate that the hunter didn't really draw any of its early mechs other than those first 2 turns, and the priest just went off doing priest things. As we're going to see it looking to do again with this coin.
Ooh.
And the lowly wasp is not going to be enough damage to take this out, so the Nephicet is pretty much going to definitely be coming down onto it. So yeah, that Redbound Wasp not going to be quite enough with the Town Crier already on board. They are going to be able to maybe try and keep it to stick. As if it does, they can get the Rampage onto it, and it will be a pretty big minion. But with the Nephicet coming down as well, that is pretty scary. The 2/6 is going to go nicely into it, so Yeah, the Rampage isn't gonna be available.
Good thing they have the lance, so we'll be able to bring it down. What laggy are you rooting for here if you're going up against the priest? Maybe that's the warrior. Like maybe a faceless just go wide.
Yeah.
Ethereal could be nice.
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean
say,
that could produce a brawl.
Yeah, Ethereal Lackey is generally just the best Lackey. In most classes, especially this warrior deck where you tend to cut out quite a lot of that removal. If we just look at the deck list,
they have no brawl. They have literally no spells except for
there's
Enrage and
no brawl. There's no warpath. There's no any kind of removal. So this Ethereal Lackey is your ticket to getting that. The Titanic Lackey not awful as well. Actually, giving a red band loss with another 2 health is quite nice. Similarly, giving an Eternium Raver that taunt is pretty tasty as well.
I mean, let's see. What's the health on Wasp? Is it 4 or 3?
It's a 1/3 as a base.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're listening to a new Titanic Lackey this Rover.
Okay.
Alright, they're gonna go with the Reborn instead of the money. That's also fine. They have to break through it and give it that damage buff. It's very similar actually to just buffing the Wasp buff. Because it does get that enraged damage effect.
That's true. I think they just wanted to reborn those. A little bit greed, just to say, hey, even if you do kill this is going to be a problem. So, I mean, choosing to.
What is Elun's will?
So there's another Nephicet, the second of the 2 Nephicets, along with the potential for Light Warden and Power World Shield. Could start getting some pretty good effective card draw for this Acolyte if we do see a shield onto it, buff its health up, bump it in once. The only issue there then is obviously that this mummy is going to have that buffed HP, which is always a bit of a worry.
I think they're just like, we can't avoid it. I mean, okay.
Oh, they can kill it. Well, they can kill it the first time. It was going to come back stronger than you could ever imagine.
No, because they can power word shield.
They can power word shield.
And
so it's not going to come back. Yep. Kill off the Reborn. Give the warrior some armor, but you're not too worried about that against this deck, because they're not going to be gaining a whole lot more on their own. The second lance is there. We'll mop up this Acolyte. Ooh. I like you killing the Acolyte, rampaging this Eternium Rover, and starting to get work on the face. This Lackey can come down when you need it.
Yeah,
but right now you need the pressure, and the Lackey is really
another Ethereal Lackey.
Right.
That's huge.
Ethereal Lackey into Rampage twice, and this thing gets really big. It's the dream.
True, that is the dream. But I think honestly, if you see a brawl at all, you take that sucker.
Yeah, going for some removal is definitely a better option.
Because you haven't seen the element, you haven't even seen either Northshire Cleric, which has been really unfortunate at this moment for the side of Brussels. Like Helsinki looks pretty good. I think I'm actually glad they queued this more into the Zulok. I think the Zulok would have taken time to develop. Meanwhile, when you're playing the Aggro Warrior, your mind is like, okay, what's the most efficient way to hit face? And that's basically about it. It's a very straightforward goal.
So I think now maybe start looking at some spells and what they can bring you.
Yep. They could kill the Cinder Tolvir.
They could kill the Tolvir and the
Northshire Cleric.
Northshire Cleric while developing onto the board and gaining another Lackey, keeping this. Can they kill? They can kill everything. They can definitely kill everything here. You play the Wasp, you Taskmaster the Wasp, that goes into the Tolvir, then you bump the other 2 with your weapon and your already existing minion.
Is that enough to kill it?
Yeah, because it gets the enrage effect and it gets the Taskmaster damage.
Buff.
So, yeah. And it still gives you 2 mana to either start looking for some of those spells or just gain a little more armor.
Goblin Lackey. I think
you could even rush the Taskmaster and then save your 4/4 at this point.
Actually,
it's something you could consider.
For the face.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I like that a lot more.
Yeah.
It's a 1/1 instead of a 2/2 on board.
Only reason why I would think they would. Yeah, they're gonna go it. They're Labilaki. Shield block is pretty good. Or Dragon Roar.
No, you don't do Dragon Roar. I want to see Dragon Roar, but you don't go Dragon Roar. Command and Shout. I was interested in Command and Shout, but Banner Rage
Shield
is
block.
really better.
I like it more because they just like to get the ults. They get armor. It's fair. They're pushing the 4 to face now versus 4 later against Priest because of how much it can heal. It really doesn't make too much of a difference.
Psychomon has a lot of nice minions and.
That's not bad. I mean, that is card draw.
Yeah, it's not the worst one to see, but it's certainly also not the best. You had Tolvirs in there, which you would have really liked against the board that you're kind of staring down.
Yeah.
And a Ken can come in and get rushed this turn.
Oh, Leroy.
So I mean, this is a pretty easy mop-up of this board. You rush the Ken in, you hit the 1/1s into the 1 health minions, and then the rest goes face for 6. Yeah. A pretty simple turn. And then you have a 5/4 Ken on board, and you've only given them 2 cards, which Alan Ray Reborn Acolyte.
But that's enough to be Inner Fire and Divine Spirit.
They have to deal with your board first.
That's
they
true.
did get an Acolyte, so that's going to help them. You have Acolyte, they have arms. So they can start dealing with some of this. They can definitely do... I mean, they don't actually do the 2 damage that they're looking for with the spells in their hand. But they can draw a whole load of cards. With these two circles.
Oh, they're debating on what they want to circle, what they want to arms. Do they want to arm Northshire? Do they want to get more board clear? And they're opting to not worry about board clear too much. Everything's super low in health, anyways. Circle healing won't clear anything else.
No, but
circle healing.
It gets them 5 cards though. And
yep.
You're generally quite happy getting 5 cards.
Oh, Beaming Psychic. They could put that on the Pyromancer if they wanted to keep them alive.
Hey, I got you, friend.
The other issue here though is that they have just given the warrior 4 cards to draw. Obviously they don't know this Battle Rage is there.
Cramash! Oh gosh, okay, so this could be
So they're looking at 11 damage right now.
Yeah, they look. Well, I guess you trade with Grummish, right? You just get rid of that board. You don't even let you.
Yeah.
You don't want anything to stick on that board for Priest.
And this is now both of the Pyromancers we've seen, or am I just thinking the last game? We've only seen the one Pyromancer. We've only seen the one Pyromancer, so they can still try and do something about this, but
it's at 6 health. It's just meh.
Yeah. You need a whole load of spells to come down with that.
Ship
the other 4 to face. Yeah.
They're dead. They left 1 minion to live.
The worst they can really do is kill your Ken, and that only takes 1 power off the board. And with your Leroy in hand and a 10 attack minion, you're pretty fine losing that 1 power. You're probably alright. Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world there.
Priest memes. Yeah, this was really unfortunate. I think very lucky for them that they did not draw any Northshire clerics. Otherwise, I think this story would have been a little bit more different.
Yeah.
I see a dark future.
I mean, Amit's not wrong. This is looking like lethal.
As dark futures go, it is certainly one of them.
It's very grim.
I mean, there's just lethal on board, so I think they're well aware that.
Oh,
they are done. Never mind, they're geniuses. I mean, the Leroy's there, which is 8, 12, 18 damage with that from hand. But I didn't even. That was really smart. If there wasn't a Leroy, and I did not notice it. So, big props to Brussels for noticing.
116 ropes.
they could in fact heal the Grandmaster up to take that power off of the board. I certainly didn't consider that an option, and they should have, but unfortunately the Leroy is there, so their priest is gone.
You
To
can
the
only,
warrior.
yeah, you only can account so much on the board because you know it's whatever's in hand. They're just gonna keep playing, and it's just like you gotta address with on board. It's very similar to priest. You just gotta go like, okay, well, I can't play around Inner Fire Divide Spirit. I just gotta take my shot. So we'll see what happens. I mean, all right, there that wins the priest. I think it's gonna be like a 2-1 victory. So far for the side of Brussels, I think we're going to go to a game 5 just the way that things are queuing up right now because I don't see this aggro warrior going to do too much against the quest druid unless it can actually just beat the heck out of it before anything else. I think they actually might keep the Starfall just because they're going to develop pretty wide on board and they wouldn't want to get rid of something that could easily board clear.
Yeah, I think Starfall certainly isn't a bad keep. The Snaris is gone, obviously, and I think the Starfall's the only one you kind of have to think about. And they are going to ditch it. This Innovate. Okay. The Innovate's a big draw.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, there you go. Turn 1 Innovate. Move on. Yeah. The only thing that would have been as big is if they had a merchant. And a lot of times, sometimes people, when they have the merchant, they actually play quest on 2 because you can innovate or coin on the next turn, and you can draw a card and also complete your quest. You do complete your quest 1 turn later, but the amount of draw that you get, usually a lot of early game stuff is not able to be dealing with a 1/4, so it usually is very, very helpful there. But at the moment, this is good too.
Yeah, imagine we'll see a potentially coin frothing Berserker. Get that big scary minion on the board, anything that comes down, especially with this Bloods. And there's this Bloodsworn Mercenary in hand, so this could get out of hand pretty quickly. Please don't hit the Mercenary, sir. Thank you. Yeah, we're good. They're hovering over for a second. I was quite scared. The Lance, an option, but yeah, more development onto board is better because the last 2 draws for this druid have been dire. There's the
there you are, buddy. And so, I guess they could Ferocious Howl now if they can save it on for holding on to life. I sometimes like holding on to it just because you want to use that for extra life, and later on in the late game, you just have very little health, and sometimes your Hidden Oasis gets used really early, so then that Ferocious Howl kind of comes in there to save you. But this is okay too.
Yeah, Oasis Surges. Well, especially when you have that Innovate or the Queen. Obviously the key card for fighting on 5 because your quest is active. And turns out that 10s on turn 5, they're really quite good.
10 on turn 5 are pretty good.
Yeah.
Ooh, this looks juicy next turn. They could. I don't know if they want to use Restless Mummy on the Witchy Lackey, but that would be like a free 5 drop. Oh, they're choosing to evolve the Frothing Berserker.
Ooh,
that's pretty
okay.
That's
pretty alright, yeah. I think they knew that they weren't ever actually going to get any serious value out of that now that the quest is done. The Frothing Berserker dies to so many things. It dies to a Loti, and that's a bad trade. It dies to a Wrath, just straight out. It dies to a Race of Surges.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it gets to a point where that minion's just not doing anything.
Literally, a Wrath will kill it.
Right. It is just a 2/4 from that point forward. It's always going to be the one they kill first, so I think trying to get something better out of it is certainly a better option.
Very true.
Now the Mummy and one of these 1/1s can mop these guys up.
They can clear the board right here.
Yeah.
Restless Mummy on here could get a lot of value. They could actually clear it. They could clear the entire board, keep the 3/3 Divine Shield.
And one of the 1/1s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they use Restless Mummy on one of them. Just going to use the weapon to proc it. They can keep the 3/1 after that.
Yeah,
so,
they could.
I mean, that allows them to still keep the board pretty wide, and this is a really smart way of doing things.
And I mean, if they get a Kobold Lackey, maybe then
Narwitchy.
They're in a lot of happiness. But yeah, the Witchy, so they can turn this into a 5-drop.
Yeah, this is really good.
Run the two 1/1s into the 5/2, and then just buff that health up. And
Okay.
yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I think
Punch 3 to face as well.
Yeah, that initial
And
bump
keep the
was really
devices.
nice.
Ooh. Okay. Well, then that's something that makes things awkward.
Just
So
gets
they
wrapped.
either have to, they have to either expend something or.
Yeah, it just gets raffed, and I think they're happy enough to raff it because it gives them the draw as well, and they're really trying to dig for that nourish. It's so key at this point with the Nomi and the Elise in hand. The name of the game is getting through this deck as quickly as possible. So trying to find the raff is very important.
I totally forgot this was Nomi. I almost never play. Oh.
And remember, while the minion has stealth, it cannot taunt.
Thank you, Innkeeper.
Yeah, that's gonna stay there, and that's a really threatening one to have because there's no way that this warrior can do anything about it. There's no brawls or plagues or rafts. So
I don't think they're really bothered by that. They're like, okay, we'll just punch you in the face then.
I think they're going to start getting bothered when this Hidden Oasis and an Anubis defender comes down.
I mean, Starfall right now looks pretty juicy, but they're choosing to keep the
Oasis.
alive? Okay.
Yeah, Oasis and Anubis is definitely juicier. I mean, the Starfall only takes... oh no, because it would do 3 on the second, so...
What do you mean I can't punch face?
It would kill everything, but... I think you just leave your Nomi. They're going to have a hard enough time getting through 2 taunts anyway. That...
What if?
Like, they're going to have to use a decent amount of resources. I think the Nomi's staying stealthed for that Starfall.
Oh, a bit of a DC.
Oh, okay. They're not deciding about the the Nomi bump or not. They are slightly disconnected, so we'll just wait to get that back. But yeah, the Nomi they do have 2 swipes. They do have 2 Starfalls, so and another Wrath still to come with a Zephyrus as well. The spell power with a Zephyrus like Fireball isn't something to scoff. 7 damage instead of 6 is something. So I think that oh,
we're back.
Yep, that Loti always is stealthed in this situation. I hope.
One would hope. I mean, the aggression has been such a way. They're just going to go ahead and pass turn. Yeah, it was a really efficient turn as well. Frothy Berserker again, this time golden. Not much. Yeah, this is turned around. They can board clear here, technically. Except for the Lodi. They can clear everything that's not stealth. But do you want to, is the question. Do you just go ahead and go wide on board and then just go like, please don't have Starfall, mister?
Yeah, I think that's the risk that you're playing into now, because otherwise these taunts are just going to be too much for you to deal with. And I mean, Starfall, they have to choose, right, between trading and losing some minions or not clearing everything with the Starfall. Keeper of the Grove, I don't hate. I also don't. I mean, I don't hate any of these really. I think the Claw, I probably dislike them most. Like, the Grove can deal with the 1/2 pretty efficiently. It does look like the Starfall might be the option with that bump loop, because they can kill everything. It is going to be doing 3 damage on the second Starfall and 7 on the first. Yeah, and with that bump, with the Loti as well, that's definitely the option they're going with. Clear off the board. You leave your 3/2 and your 4/5, and it starts to get pretty sketchy for this warrior who is starting to run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, not much to come back from, and a lot of the things that they have going for them is just not optimal. They will be able to finally clear the Lodi, but they're so low in health. And well, I don't know. It's like the only question is there hasn't been a nourish, so production and drawing cards has been slowed down, so they don't get this Nami. However, Yeah, they also don't have enough spells for Feoris to actually get any value, so they might be okay at the moment.
I don't think they care at this point, and the fact that they're playing the Elise shows that they really don't care. They know that this warrior is running out of stuff. Getting the Noibi down is almost likely never going to happen in this matchup, just because you either outlast them and they run out of stuff to do and you win, or they kill you and you lose. And
that's true.
One of those two things is going to happen before your outcuts. So kind of those two big finishing cards are pretty irrelevant. And yeah, the warrior realizes like he has to run out of stuff.
I'm always just so half glass full, thinking that there's always going to be a late game. But yeah, there's just nothing that this warrior can do. And now we're going to see the Zulak versus the good old
Druid.
It's going to be a close match for sure. It really does come down to if there's going to be any optimal board clear coming in. I think just how early you get Lodi and how early you get board clear.
Yeah, really, like that game came down to the Hidden Oasis into Anubis after Render turn. By that point, it was pretty much over.
Came down to taunts.
Like yeah, that turn won that Druid the game pretty much entirely because yeah, there's just not enough for the warrior to carry on doing. That is a risk.
Let's have some fun.
With the Zoo Warlock coming up against the Druid as well.
It's a really good curve.
This is a nice curve. No lackeys for the Evil Recruiter though, so I think, yeah. They're going to look for something to find them, and the Evil Genius is that.
Oh, we can't see the mulligan for Brussels. But I assume with the amount of time they're taking, they have the quest. We know that for a fact.
Left-hand card, probably the quest.
They might have some good board clear options, but they're like, we want to really mulligan for Innervate.
They kept the middle card as well, so they only got rid of one card.
My guess is Innervate. Okay, so they play quest. That's huge.
Without an Innervate. Oh, and the Sinister Deal is a nice way to get that lackey without having to sacrifice your free to. If they do, I mean, they can't play a Crystal Merchant this turn, so they're thinking about coining the Sinister Deal, which no, they didn't go for. I think it's worth just playing it. Next turn you can get the lackey down, and then the turn after is that Evil Recruiter. There is the risk though that playing the lackey this turn. Next turn there's the option for the Druid to hero power. So the lackey probably dies, and the Evil Recruiter is probably not going to find anything unless you get a Titanic lackey. In which case, they can't hit the lackey, and you're fine. So that 5/5 is going to be coming down on turn 3, which is quite scary. So they can Evil Recruiter.
Yep.
And then coin Soulfire to get rid of that Crystal Merchant if they want to deal with it. So we just get back into the game. We'll see that is in fact what they're going with. They don't want any more cards or going for that Druid.
Grim Rally gets
the Grim Rally. With the board that they have at the moment, they're probably alright with that. Yeah, they're probably fine. And like they lost their Grim Rally and they kept their generation cards, so they're actually probably kind of happy with that. And they forced out a non-quested Loti.
You take what you can get. Discover Lackey. Faceless or tight or Faceless or Witchy would be really good. Honestly, all these are a really great choice.
I like the Titanic because it can get things outside of Starfall range.
Yeah.
And can protect certain stuff against the...
They might give it to the 5/5.
Yeah, or if you give it to the 3/3, it protects at least one of your 5 health minions from an Oasis surging on 6.
That is true, but also I was just thinking along the lines of like anything above 2 health with the Starfall. Basically, they would go for always the 7 health minion, so then...
They've been forced into a non-crested Loti and a non-crested Starfall. They do get the Anubis F down. That's something. But that hurts.
It does hurt.
These early turns have been awful for the Druid.
And this is going to be really big. Evil Genius again. All right. So Titanic Lackey comes down here, and then Evil Genius, Goblin Lackey, square up.
Titanic Lackey, Evil Genius. Yeah, 2 more lackeys. You can play both those lackeys.
Yep.
And the Druid is sad. They do have the Nourish. There's a silver
Goblin
lining.
Lackey,
They get the Golden Lackey.
Do they even evolve it? Do you evolve it, maybe?
I think he's evolved the Genius, probably. You're fine with the Thrasher. Like, you're not going to get better stats out of 4-drop, probably.
That's true.
So, yeah, you're fine with the Thrasher. And if you evolve anything, it's the Evil Genius to get another 3-drop. But with the next turn just being Nourished for the Druid, they're in a very bad spot.
Okay. What the hell is that? Oh no, they got it. This feels even worse. So, Serpent Egg Evil Genius is pretty big. It's looking pretty good for them. They are basically able to clear this. I mean, I think the thing that they're looking for is a Nerd Goblin Lackey. But the board is full, so they can't play it right now. So they just have to go ahead and trade the old-fashioned way with at least a couple of lackeys and then be good to go. Ethereal into Grim Rally would be pretty big. Inferno or Fiendish Circle.
These are terrible options. My god, they suck.
Well, I mean, at least you can Grim Rally with the circle.
Yeah, that's true.
3-5's really good though.
Mm.
So, I mean, at least that's something. Nourish what you get. You got 3 mana. What can you do? You can Ferocious Howl, and the Ferocious Howl will be big enough that you can do something. You get the Innervate. Nothing really to go with it though. So basically, you're staying alive. I actually would have liked if they innervated Worthy Expedition, because then if you get Starfall the next turn, that gives you a lot of stuff that you can do. I suppose there's not too much of a difference, though, in their mind.
The Warlock's probably starting to get somewhat sad that Grim Rally got discarded, but all things considered, they're in a very good place. I mean, there's the... You have to see what's in the Worthy Expedition box first. And none of that helps.
No, none of that. Well...
So then you see what's in the Nourish box. Because that could be the Starfall. And if it's not...
Let's see. So you play Nourish, now you get 6/3, go back up to 5. That's enough for the Starfall, but not for Starfall Lodi. So then what you're hoping for is that you have Wrath, the second Wrath, because we only saw the first Wrath. And then basically, if they can Starfall Wrath, that's something that they can work with.
Oh,
no, but they wouldn't have enough mana for this.
And yeah, none of that's enough.
Anubis, but...
It might...
They can play Anubis and a Ferocious Howl. And the Ferocious Howl will allow them to draw, and they can get a Wrath off that. Also, the armor helps them stay alive. So they're not dead yet, but they're knocking on death's door. And they're going to fluke it, which feels terrible.
So they can take out both of these 5 health minions, actually. And leave both 5/2s on board.
Okay.
So that feels
Sea Giant.
pretty good.
It does feel good.
The Sea Giant comes down and it gets loaded.
No, they're not dead.
Yeah, so Sea Giant comes down and they either... If they draw a Starfall, that's amazing. And even then, the Sea Giant dies to the Loti.
Oh, Abusive Sergeant!
Okay, so that kills the 3/4
They're
onto
one
the
off
2/2.
lethal. Or 2 off lethal, sorry.
Bear in mind as well, like, they do have this. Oh no, it's too much mana.
Fight, maggot!
Well, they're able to bring back the board. I guess they're just going to hope and pray there's no Starfall. They really don't want to use this servant on the Anubis Defender, but that's something that
I think. Okay, him. It should.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they didn't take the one that did the 1 damage to all minions. So.
Oh, they're going to heal it back up with Beam Psychic?
Yeah, because at the moment there's just the risk that, I mean, if they want to deal with this 8/8, they have to put both of these guys into it, or play the Loti and lose it. There's a heal.
Oasis! Oh.
They're back up to 20. With a Ferocious Howl as well. They're back up to 26 if they want to. Which, I don't know about you, but if I was in that position, I'd want to.
Yeah, I like health.
But yeah, the 20 might just be enough at this point, because you see how low on resources that this Warlock is getting. And again, this is just another one of those matchups where it's just weather the storm. Yeah, that's your win condition, is just survive. And they're getting to a point where they're starting to get towards survival.
What if?
Yeah, there's no cheesing it. The only thing that I could imagine is like, I'm looking at, let me look at the list right now. I don't really think they got much left tank in the gas in the tank.
No, they certainly do not, and the Druid has quite a lot. That does
Nothing.
nothing. That
Beast
does nothing.
Yeah, there's not
I mean,
enough.
they can kill everything on their board to kill the 6s, or they can use a Loti to do it. Loti, a Leroy, in which case they are the saddest Warlock currently playing. But that makes you very, very sad if that's what you're doing. Because again, yeah, looking at their list, they have a Solarium, they have 2 Void Walkers still. They only had the 1 Soulfire, so that burst is gone.
The Oasis Surger. Oh man. Actually, this might be it.
Yeah.
Brussels just, I think, took the series.
Again, they've just weathered the storm. They've realized that they just need minions on board. Like how they played at least last game, they played the Zephyrs this game. And I really think that is going to be it for this Warlock.
Impressive. You win,
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the series overall. That is going to be 3-1 for the side of Brussels versus Helsinki. So, I think with that, I think there's still a chance for Helsinki to make it into the top 4, but they're automatically in playoffs still. Like, this is still fine for them. Unless they lose their next one, then it could get a little dicey. But I think they're fine overall. Going into the top 6 overall. But yeah, I mean, this definitely solidifies it for Brussels. Like, they're pretty much good to go.
5-1 for Brussels and 4-2 for Helsinki. So very nice scorelines for both of them, to be honest. But yeah, Brussels, just the Druid just about weathering 2 very, very aggressive storms.
Yeah, beautifully done. And I think that's going to do it for this series. But next up, we do have London Quick Draws versus Cape Town Champions. GG's to both Helsinki and Brussels. So we'll be right back after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. Cool.
Man.
welcome back to the most esports casting duo ever. It's Omni Toaster and Benny back at it with Gavin. Nations Division, we have a playoff match to play for. Omni, it is London Quick Draws versus the Cape Town champions is about to go down here. And we already have some interesting things to talk about just with these decks.
There was a rogue. There is no longer a rogue. So Cape Town bought a Spirit of the Shark, Heist Baron, Hog Rabble rogue, and it has been banned by London. Banned over their Priest deck, their Control Warrior deck, and their Zoolock deck. As we get into the first game here, I want to vaguely mention my theory as to why. In that it has the most early game removal that is pretty scary against the Secret Hunter, the Murloc Shaman that we're going to be seeing first here, and the Priest. That rogue can just dominate that early game with Vendettas, with Backstabs, and with the SI7 agents. Especially against this deck here, it can just spend 3 or 4 turns getting rid of everything that you have on board. And at that point, you lose.
I buy that. Early. I mean, Rogue tends to be an aggressive archetype of a deck, so this tends to be very punishing towards the aggro lineup. So I suppose that would make sense for London to go, you know what, we really just want everything to live as early as possible. And I mean, this is the way to do it. There's a lot of resources that the other decks have to use to get rid of such a wide board that can be developed very, very early. Almost the entire hand is going to be getting rid of from both sides. And looks like London's going to make out with the better hand here, it seems like.
Yeah, you are always sad if you don't see the underbelly angler, but
In the light's name.
everything else on the other side isn't great either. There's just not that great a turn 1 play here.
I actually think this is a great hand for London, just because they can actually do a lot of options. I think it's more so to do so with knowing you have a curve and or having options for the curve is when it's an optimal hand. This is a very optimal hand. You're not really going to hold on to the coin for a lot of things, so you could coin Fish Flinger here, which already will be a body that can take care of the Light Warden. There's no other way to address the Light Warden, and there's nothing else in the hand of Cape Town. So this looks really good for London. And also on top of that, they could just honestly play coin and then play 2 minions, but they're going to go for the Fish Flinger here. And already off the bat, this is like, it's a strong thing. It's a 3-2 right off the bat in turn 1 is really good. Ooh, that's pretty good Murloc to get if you're on the side of Cape Town.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the moment it's just a 1-2, but when the second of this Fish Flinger eventually comes down, can be chucking poisonous onto some things.
That's just a vanilla Murloc.
Just a
okay.
1 mana 2/1.
Fair enough. Well,
Bringing down a decent amount of power on board for turn 2, and the only real punish that you can do is find a Wild Pyromancer. So you're probably going to be fairly happy going into this. Looking at their list, they do run the 2 Wild Pyros, 1 Silence version. So it is slightly more likely that Cape Town will find one. London, if they get onto that Priest, doing the same thing, 2 Wild Pyros. But without it, they are going to be... There's just not going to be an answer for them at all here, and this Cold Light's going to come down next turn. Buff the health of these guys up. And, I mean, yeah, the Priest just doesn't have anything here. They can play the Ritualist to try and just have something to challenge this board. If it dies, however, it does potentially weaken that Psychopomp the turn after. Just as the Psychopomp thing about the Light Warden, probably something you're a lot more excited about than it bringing back a 9% Ritualist.
that doesn't feel good.
That does not feel good at all.
Plus Slurper.
I am very sad about that play. Especially if I am Cape Town here. That feels bad.
That feels very bad. That was
For
unfortunate.
my
I don't even know.
glory.
Why did they play the inner fire at all?
So if the Virtues came down, both these minions do have to trade into it to kill it. It took that minion down from a 2-1 that was buffed to a 3-1 to a 1-1 that was buffed to a
2-1 again.
2-1.
Back to normal.
Yeah,
There's
so
some
now,
math.
yeah, so now these trades are still happening. But the other way, it would be still a 1-3 and a 3-1. So I mean, they are
I
in a
guess
slightly
so,
better
but I
position,
just feel awful about it. You know?
Oh, I mean, I get why they did it, but I think they also feel awful about it. If I was gonna guess, they aren't happy about having made that play. Now the Psycho Pump as well has this Ritualist in it, as well as the Light Warden, which at this point is a bigger minion, so you might be happy about it. That doesn't matter anyway.
When it comes back, nothing really to see. Sludge Slurp. I would honestly play the Sludge Slurper right now. You could, well,
I mean, if you play the, I mean, you can kill everything Leaf Stuff on board, and have a decently buffed Tide Caller
For
down.
my glory.
And this will also keep the Cold Light out. So, yeah, I mean, the Tide Caller definitely comes down, and then you buff it health and attack, and then you just clear off the priest board. The ones that are going to be trading into this
I feel like you can see.
Light Warden are still going to survive. I feel. I mean, this priest is sad. You bump your. Okay, you can also do it that way. Keep this damage buff alive as a 1-2. They need a Wild Pirate. That's not Wild Pirate. That's a Holy Ripple, which does a whole load of nothing.
Nice. Sold.
It can get this guy to a 4.
I'm listening.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I had to say.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
There was
Oh
nothing
my
else.
gosh, this is huge.
Okay, so Sludge Up, let's see what you get. The Oracle comes down for the buff damage.
Ethereal Lackey.
You can Toxin something just to make sure that this dies. Toxin one of the Seers, the lower health one.
Well, no, they're
Yeah.
gonna. I feel like
Or you can go Wolf Face.
Well, I feel like they might want to play Spirit of the Murloc, just trade into stuff, and then once the other Murlocs are summoned from the Death Rattle, then you just buff up and hit face with the Tidecaller.
Yeah, or you can Spirit the Murloc.
Ooh, this Rockfire though. Okay.
If you Spirit the Murloc and Toxin, then you only lose 1 3/3 instead of 2 minions. So you get
Yeah, I
a 3/4
suppose.
and the 1/1. I think the Toxin.
I was just assuming that maybe you wanted to keep the 2 buff for the Tidecaller, but that was just me being greedy and trying to buff up the Tidecaller as quick as possible.
Yeah, so they've chosen a different one to put the Toxin on, but same situation. Toxin 1 pump in. You get the 1/1 and you keep the rest of the minions. I don't
Interesting.
like the one they chose. They do have another one, but it's lost them 6 power off the board instead of 3 power.
I think they want bigger bodies that can survive pyromancers
Wildfire.
if they were, yeah. So
does
I
make
think
sense.
that's the only reason why. And on top of that, they already have another one in hand, so it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah. New point of order. This priest is dead.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if he plays any minion, you hit the 1/1 into it, you play the Oracle, you Rock Bite or something, you hit everyone in the face, and
You're dead.
you're dead.
You're done, ski.
I haven't done the maths, but I'm pretty confident. Probably should do the maths, but addition is really hard. So
Yeah,
you get rid of the
who
1.
needs that?
That's 5, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13.
Okay.
Plus 6. They're dead. I did simple addition.
Nice. Okay.
And I assume I did it right. It is my weakest part as a master player, but this should be exact lethal. If I can add
I don't know.
13.
You have
I can add.
Yeah,
Didn't have to find out. I was definitely right. And either way, conceiving is exact lethal Murloc Shaman. Just flooding that board, getting rid of the priest. And that's why I think the rogue ban was smart. Because backstabs, SA agents, S7 agents, and vendettas ruined that game.
Cobalt lackeys as well, if you're
Yeah.
able to get the evil miscreant. Yeah. That's I mean, that's a fair choice. It was a little bit of a shocker, but the more you talk about it, the less it's a sound option, I feel.
Yeah.
And a really good play from London here. And off the bat, going up against these things like Control Warrior and whatnot, this is gonna be really hard. Yeah, like here comes if you get the nuts again like you did last game, London could just be a match point already. This could be 3-0.
Yeah, so Benny went to get the bans and came back and said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you something pretty interesting here." And I said, "Did they ban the rogue?" And he said, "Yeah." And then I looked at it for more than a second. I was like, "Wait, that makes sense."
There's merit.
There is a lot of merit, in fact. So much so that I very much like that ban.
It's almost like they've done professional Hearthstone esports playing before.
Yeah, and we're just here to talk
Exist.
at you. We're here to look pretty and pretend we can add.
Yeah.
Last game, I didn't even pretend. I just
You're like, who does adding anymore nowadays?
I just did it. So yeah, I mean, if they can get the Murloc Shaman through this with the Stone Cold nuts.
Well, right now they have the nuts just from existing. Oh, well, there we go. That's a little bit of a better hand. The Dynamatic is huge. I'm looking at it as well.
The
Especially
Dynamatic.
with also the Town Crier. Oh, this is an awful hand. Oh, why did it not keep Mermy?
Yeah, it's a good question. Just looking for the better early drops. You know, you got your Tycoon, you got your Underbelly Angle, you got your Seer. It's probably just nicer things to do. That Mermy's more powerful when you have a Underbelly Angler down, because it's just a one drop that rebuilds your hand more than anything else.
That's true, but I guess so. I don't know. If you have a bad hand, you see that. Slow Slurper makes things a lot better.
It does, yeah. So, yeah, you see that?
Ethereal Lackey is super helpful. I think maybe Faceless would have been just a little bit nicer to go wider on board. But I suppose this works.
Yeah, I like this as well. Just protects you 2-1 and gives you the poison minion that's going to stick. Ooh, another Town Crier. So that's going to be every rush minion in hand if he does opt for this. It will float a mana, but I don't think you're too upset about that, because then you have
whatever, dude.
Yeah, in this deck especially.
If you really don't want to flood a mana, you could coin Hero Power.
Well, the thing is, so after this you have coin Restless Mummy, Restless Mummy, Dynamatic. They can't quite play it this turn.
No, but they're gonna. Do you Ethereal Lackey, or do you play Hero Power see if you get Taunt Totem?
And Taunt Totem
my glory
would be insane. It would stop that coin Restless into Dynamatic thing I just mentioned, obviously.
nothing.
But there are a lot of pretty nice spells. None of these
Rain
are
of Toads.
especially them. Yeah, Rain of Toads. Nice, and that's when Ancestral
Spirit could be good.
Yeah, can be nice for something if you get something really good off the evolve on this this Mogu Flesh Shaper. As of tomorrow, which can be Ragnaros. Let's not forget.
Oh, they're gonna be so sad.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, you go with the coin. I mean, you could even, like, there's nothing particularly threatening you. You could just go for the shield block this turn, and then you save your coin.
What now?
Oh, they have shield block. I just realized in hand.
Yeah, so you can either shield block this turn, or you can go coin the Restless Mummy, knowing that the turn after you have another Restless Mummy. Yes, you go with the shield block.
Hold the coin.
Which regrettably does mean this Mogu.
Oh.
This Mogu is an option.
Mogu's an option, but
I mean, you can play the Murloc and then play the Mogu.
That's true. You could, and then you can
Is
still
there-
mutate it.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that costs 1, if you can already play the Mogu, you can play it
For
because it costs
my
1 and it reduces it by 1.
Biggest concern is that coin brawl will be devastating.
Yes.
Mortals are so
Just the Mogu then. Save that mark for
Red one
a bit more burst Doctor. Ooh, the Reign of Doctor. It's an 8-8. There are definitely some 8-8s that might have been nicer. Not Desari. Would have been pretty nice in this situation. And yeah, coin
Watch
brawl.
this 8-8 live.
No, it's the lackeys left. Oh, we were both wrong. So I'll take it.
We shouldn't be casters.
We can't accurately predict every brawl.
Yeah.
I think if you could accurately predict every brawl, playing would be a significantly better option. Because you have some form of magic that is cheating.
Ah.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see here that going wide right now is pretty scary to see what they get. That is a taunt totem! Which is nice. It defends against the Restless Mummy. Dynamatic, I mean, almost certainly kills these 2 mimics, right? Plays the one off the top. You lose the taunt totem as well. And, yeah, I mean, it's Control Warrior that's drawn all of its early game removal. There's not a whole lot that can be done.
For my glory.
And when you're forced to use Mutate on a totem or on a Toxfin, you are sad.
Or not. I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, but it's not good, I believe is the word.
Yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't really do anything for them, especially seeing as they're just at 30. They have no way of dealing with this armadillo. And I believe they're very, very dead. As it is down.
You fight well.
Yeah.
I am finished here.
Yeah.
I mean, Control Warrior just did Control Warrior stuff.
Okay, so I guess let's see here. Maybe Warrior Mirror? No, Warrior's Band.
Warrior's banned, so
Oh, so Hunter?
what are you happy queuing into? Yeah, the Hunter. It is the secret version of the Highlander Hunter, so none of that mech early game stuff. Secrets, you got the
Not those shenanigans.
yeah, none of that stuff that didn't work particularly well. All things considered, in the last series that we watched it in.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I think the Hunter has to be the next one that you bring into this, and yeah, it is what they've gone for.
Tremble before the might of the elves.
Do you, let's see here. Pretty good. And from, I would say, the good folks over on London, maybe Mulligan the Ziliax away.
No, I think you only keep the Mars Contender there.
Okay.
There's nothing too threatening early that you're scared about
that's
for the deadly shot.
much better. Wait,
Yeah, then-
no, Sandbinder only gets... No, wait, they could get Tiamat.
Yeah, they get TM out of that as well.
But
I think their only fear is that their only secret is a snipe. And if they do play the snipe on 2, then there's the worry. Like it's the easiest one for it to not still be active.
well,
For the
then
Mars Contender.
you just pass the turn. No, because I think
Then-
you want. Well, if you coin secret now, you're not
No.
going to be able to play mass contender.
Yeah, I'm saying if they secret on 2, snipe is a very easy one for it to get proc.
Yeah.
So you see that unless they draw, say, a
So
Town Crier or the like,
both
they'll be okay.
Yeah, Town Crier or Frightened Flunky. That's the only thing they have to worry about. Oh, and they're safe. This is gonna be huge on the Restless Mummy. Yep, your power pass
Yeah.
turn. Mass Contender's gonna come down. This is looking really nice.
Yeah, and snipe on Restless Mummy is pretty sad. It means that the Restless Mummy alone won't take this Mass Contender down. Although I think they're fine bumping one of their 1-3s for the last 1 health.
That's
Uh,
true. Oh,
you're
they
really
could
not
shield
that-
slam it. Do you shield slam?
They could. I think you're. I mean, we don't know what that set secret is, but I think you're more scared of a pressure plate.
Production, could you... Oh, we know
it
what
was
it
a
is.
free
Never
attack.
mind. Thank you, production.
Thank you for making that attack for us.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
all
it's just-
scripted, by the way.
Yeah, and yeah, let's play again to die. So do get the armor up there. And it
really
protects all. Okay, now the Sandbinder is just a minion. It's just a understated, sad little minion. That
This is a
draws
sad little
nothing.
minion. He's got great wardrobe.
Sad little minion that doesn't draw.
Wow, I bet you were popular in high school.
Hey, if people drew me cards, I didn't. Sad. You know that was the deal I had.
Yeah, you have to give me your lunch money or you draw a card.
That does sound like I wasn't a bully. I want to make that clear.
I will show
I see.
you. Yeah.
I was a lovely boy.
Yeah, alright, well.
So the
Jury's
rest of
still
Mummy,
out, but...
the rest of Mummy is free to come down without it. But I mean, it would take out one of these guys. I'm not sure you'd bother. None of them are particularly threatening.
I mean, you can still clear the... No, you can't clear the board here. You can hero
What
power shield
now?
slam into something, and then at least
Yeah.
would get one of them, and you would hold on to the Restless Mummy next turn.
Even then-
Option.
You're not under a whole lot of threat. Once you get that boom down, the shield slam's quite nice to deal with the Diametainer brand summoned King Crush.
Yeah.
What now?
Yo, with the taunts and those 2 models and the Dr. Boom in hand, don't
Why did you think
disregard
it was
that.
okay to make a 7-mana King Crush?
It's not just a 7-mana King Crush. It's a 7-mana King Crush with a 2/4.
Yeah. Sure.
Earthtron's pretty good. There's still both the other decks in the deck. Other decks in deck, other mechs in deck. Which is the Ziliax and the
Is there
Snip Snap.
Subject 9?
There is a Subject 9.
Oh, this
Yes.
could help get things speeding right along for the for London. Then
So now the Restless Mummy helps clear the whole board, other than the fact that snakes would come.
yeah.
Which could then be Warpath. So you could have a full clear.
Well, I usually hold on to the Warpath with my Plague of Death.
Yeah.
I don't mind 3/1/1s. If my opponent wants to have 3/1/1s, go ahead. I will just armor up and
It is just. It is the one Warpath and the one Plague of Death. Sorry, the 2 Warpaths and the 1 Plague of Death in the deck.
No tomb can hold me.
So yeah, they're just gonna go for the hero power still. Draws the Ziliax. Ooh. And a Rat Trap.
Rat Trap, not going to get a lot of value here with the Control Warrior. There's so much expensive stuff that's just, it's going to be hard to proc.
Yeah, eventually they'll play 3 Warpaths, possibly.
Or
Yeah.
just like an Omega Assembly, and then you just play a bunch
A
of
couple
cheap
of
mechs.
mechs, yeah.
Yeah, but then at that point, there's like so much value that like a 6/6 rat versus an army of robots doesn't seem fair. It's like Pokemon
No.
versus Lions. The Lions are always going to lose.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. That was the definite comparison that I was thinking too.
Yeah. I appreciate you being a sports sarcastic. Okay. I mean, this is fine. This is really
Yeah.
good optimal way to use your Beast Master.
I would have quite liked to see the Rat Trap as well, because I'd need to use Warpath 3 times to kill us if they were going to do that. And it's not the worst Warpath in the world, and Rat Trap would
True.
then end up with you having that 6/6.
Well,
I don't think
I don't
the
know,
hero
maybe-
power does as much.
I think they would be I think Cape Town's smart enough that they would be self-aware that the rat trap was there. It's like, okay, they played this. Probability of it being a rat trap now, because we just saw like 3 different secrets from the deck, is very likely. So they could easily play that around with just Warpath Plague of Death. And that's just 2 cards as opposed to 3. We'll have to wait and see. But they are going to play the Warpath straight up. And I mean, at some point, the Dr. Boom will come down, and with the mechs with Rush, they can tag a lot of things, and this is going to be just so hard for the Hunter to develop on board wide. Then I think maybe this was just a fine play. And we'll see what happens. Saima's just going to come down. I mean, they're just waiting for all their spells so that way they can proc it.
Yeah, Rush, sorry, Divine Shield, Wind Fury, does effectively deal with this 2 more if it comes down on curve, which is quite nice. And there's nothing that the warrior can particularly do to do it.
You know why? It was our Megadillode.
No, it wasn't. That was the last game.
Whoops.
There has been no Armageddon this game. It is a bog standard 3/6.
I was testing you.
Yep. Yeah, that's 100%. Good test. Good test.
Thank you.
I'm paying attention.
God. All right. We're gonna overlook that. Okay, play the Mega Assembly early. Interesting. Clockwork Goblin makes it really funky.
Quite like the Clockwork Goblin. I quite like the bombing.
This is all really good options.
I think the Nullifier the Nullifier forces a deadly shot. As does the Whelp. This way it guarantees some kind of value out of it. The Ziliax can come into it, we see that. And then you can ship 12 to face and keep the Divine Shield on. Heal up for that free. Eventually you'll deal more. And if they are going to be Dr. Booming next turn, then the Ziliax gets to stick around even a bit further. As does the Siamat, and I think with the Zephrys, the Siamat can get buffed up and just really start doing some damage.
It could.
Yeah, I like just hit it with the Ziliax and start punching face a whole lot.
Yeah, 12 damage seems good. Gets rid of the armor, so avoids shield slam.
Yeah, 12 damage seems very nice. And if they just Dr. Boom next turn, which I mean, this means it's a control where you expect they're gonna just Dr. Boom next turn, they don't deal with either of these minions on board, and then you know that you have a Zephrys to buff them up a bit next turn.
Yeah, they don't feel pressured. Ooh, Town Crier.
Town Crier would give you either the Ziliax or the Restless Mummy. The second Restless Mummy.
Nah, I think the Restless Mummy probably would be more ideal. Dr. Boom just generates so much value that you really don't want to get rid of it. You take it on the chin, and you move on with your day, and you just play Dr. Boom.
Your other option is you 2 more than now to try and at least get this to try and get the Siamat hindered at least a little bit. Like, you know he's going to have to run it into it twice. Unless this Zephrys can find them something.
This deadly shot could be huge. Wait, maybe they Zephrys this turn.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what Zephrys might give you here. Master Spell is definitely something I think it would probably look at. The Black Knight, I imagine.
Fireball.
I mean, Zephrys might do that. Okay, so we're gonna just see if they get lucky here first.
Oh!
That's sad. The thing is, having seen the tank riot, I think they need to kill these because they know that it's a 50-50 that they have Ziliax in hand. At the very least, if Ziliax wasn't already in hand. So it's probably slightly higher than 50-50. That's not... That's maths above my pay grade, but... Yeah, these need to get dealt with. And you know that they might still struggle to deal with it. We see that they have a couple of options for dealing with this now. They have the Ziliax and they have a weapons project. The weapons project can hit the Ziliax. Or they could Dr. Doom Shield Slam. Because they still didn't make that card 10 mana, so you can still do that. Blizzard, please.
It's also ridiculous as well. If you were a nut, you could still hold on to that coin and still get the first hero power. And with Control Warrior, there's not a lot of things you coin a lot of the time. Yeah. So that coin stays in that hand. Like, my coin stays until, like, turn 7 or 8.
So, do this. Shield Slam to see it, man. Nice board presence. It's facing up 6. On 24. There's no way that Zephyrus gives you 18. So I think you'll find there.
Watch it.
I mean, it could if you have a big enough board and it gives you Bloodlust, but...
It probably is going to give you Tyrion at this point. It's just like,
almost certainly going to give you Tyrion.
It's just like, here's a 6/6, get a weapon, your life's going to be great, trust me.
It has Divine Shield.
Yeah.
You know you want the Divine Shield.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shiny, it's golden. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to play Tyrion. They're 10 mana Tyrion.
Put your faith in the light.
This will force the brawl if they have it, and if not, kills them probably. So,
hello, Tyrion. Gorehowl?
I don't think you take.
Now.
You play Tyrion, you hear the Tyrion music. See, I don't really play much Paladin. I don't actually have Tyrion. So I like having Zephyrus because it means I can hear the Tyrion music. And it makes me pretty happy.
That's good.
Obviously, Antonidas
makes you happy.
Antonidas can also give you the excellent music, but
that's true.
It's just excellent music. The Armadillos will start buffing up your Ziliax. It will start buffing up both your Ziliaxes. Yep. Sorry, let me rephrase that one there, which is really nice bit. I think the draw.
You don't want this
certainly to play.
This is a pretty good roll.
It is, yeah. Yeah, you were fine because I mean that's pretty much as perfect as that could have gone. Other than I guess the Zephyr surviving was exactly the same situation. As long as the Tyrion or the life drinker didn't survive, you were pretty happy.
This Zul'jin
is bad.
This is.
But you know what else is bad?
What? Not playing Zul'jin? Yeah.
No, just the rest of his hand is.
Let's see here.
What you want? It has a rat trap that won't happen. It has a snake trap, a freezing trap, a snipe, and a deadly shot. That is all this Zul'jin has right now, and that sucks.
This is why I don't like Highlander Hunter. Because bad.
I mean, this is all the risk reward thing you get with Highlander decks. If you draw everything and curve out, then yeah, that's great. But you're less likely to use it.
I don't like having decks that really have no way of coming back from a bad mulligan. Like, I feel like Highlander is one of those decks where you just, like, if you don't get the nuts, or, like, if you don't have anything that helps you curve, it's just going to be a bad time.
Yeah, you're going to be pretty sad, because you're going to be in this situation, and... Yeah.
What armadillo sounds like that?
That one.
Well, that's true. Fair enough. I mean,
I want to draw your attention just once more to two buffed Ziliaxes.
Yep.
They can kill the Armadillo.
Production, can we hover over those Ziliaxes real quick?
Just show how scary they are
Yeah.
and bigger than
Yeah,
normal ones.
look at those! Look at those bad boys! Oh, 5-4s with Divine Shield and Rush. Thank you, production. Shout out to Shudda, by the way. Really cool dude coming on to the team. I want to emphasize this because he's a super awesome guy. And if you want to listen to Hearthstone Grandmasters in Spanish, he's your guy. He does that. So thank you to Shudda for being a beautiful human being, and I love him to death already. Yes, clap for Shudda.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Move now.
My other worry here is that both of these things have been left on board. All of these mechs. Which means Ziliax can just go on them.
Eternium Railver. Beryllium Nullifier, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like you can get a Ziliax down
actually, do you
now.
play the Gadget Twist? Because
The Ziliaxes go down to 4, and your Tomb Warden goes down to 7.
Yep. And
That's-
if you want to double overlay Ziliax, you can still do that and get the Dr. Boom hero power.
They went for the Nullifier,
That's
which I
fair.
think is fine. Yeah. Get the Tomb Warden down, get some Ziliaxes on that. I mean, I think that's
I feel like you have to
just
play Ziliax. I feel like you. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you have to play the Zul'jin here just to see if you can high roll the Deadly Shot. Yeah, I don't.
I think
see it.
even if you high roll the Deadly Shot, this game is.
Well, you need the armor as well to get the extra 5 life.
Oh yeah, but I think either way, this game is done. Ziliax is coming down onto a bigger mech. Your Ziliax has 5 attack.
Precision.
Perfection. Concede.
Stop.
The thing is as well, wait, London right now haven't seen. They'll see it. They'll probably see. They'll play the standard Ziliax first, and then when created by Ziliax comes down, I think that's when
Move now.
you leave this game, because at that point, what do? Oh, you can Ziliax and you can snap onto the Ziliax and just make it bigger.
You could. Are you that greedy though?
If you'd galvanize it, you were definitely that greedy, because then you could do 2 snaps. But with just the 1 snap, maybe you don't.
Okay,
Maybe you
then.
just chuck his Iliax down. Go all face. I mean, you know that hitting face isn't going to proc this trap. At this point, you know it's a rat trap.
So what I'm
So-
hearing here is Toaster. Let me see if I got this straight. They won.
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
I believe you do have that pretty straight. This hunter is in a sad place.
What is there anything you can draw with the Highlander that like will help out? Like does Unleash the Beast help?
Let's have a look at his deck. Unleash the Hounds does nothing. Especially now that 1-1's again. But...
Precision.
Oh, that's gross. Oh my god. Hit like bottom right. It's healed for 12.
This rat is never being let out of his cage.
Oh, there's even the bomb. Oh god, this poor hunter.
Oh, discover a spell. Don't win.
I don't think they discover anything that saves them.
No. They can
And
discover
by-
another rat trap.
They could discover.
Death. The unknown.
Here comes the big ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you hope for here? What is your deadly shot of choice?
I mean, you need to deadly shot one of the 6/5s. You have the freezing trap.
you have the Silker Man.
That's not what you wanted.
Nope.
Okay.
That's at least one.
You wanted that on the 1/1 really, because then they couldn't attack him with it to put the freezing trap, so they know it's there. Because then this way you are still dead. No matter what, you are very dead. Wait, there wasn't a freezing trap?
No.
Because they didn't play it. The Master Contender played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was testing you again.
Yep. Yeah. So there was nothing that Zul'jin could have done. The hunter falls to the warrior. The hunter forces 2 Ziliaxes. So they are down to just their
Priest.
To first beat the warrior, and to then beat the priest.
Control warrior versus priest
Is a coin flip.
Versus Garrosh.
So you either
Victory or death.
have
Moon give me strength.
gas upright and you're able to just beat the warrior in the face before they can even say anything, or you just
the same
don't
thing
have,
happens.
and that's
Yeah, either that or we see the same thing that happened in the last 2 games, where you run out of ways to stop the warrior being a warrior, and you just lose. I think the warrior is going to want to get rid of quite a lot of this stuff as well. Yeah, just keep the brawl. The town cry is huge,
Oh,
and
this is
priest
awful.
hand. This priest hand
Oh,
is
no.
not huge.
It's like
Cool.
it's like a body without the skeleton. There's no structure to it.
It's just wobbling around everywhere.
Yeah. This is not good. Well, all right. Also on top of that, sound crier in the hand. Love it. So
Yeah.
Restless Mummy is also the most optimal. So I can't believe this. They have to play this now.
Use it now.
This is. I want to look. I really want to look away,
Yeah.
but I can't
Slow moving car crash.
because I'm meant to talk about it.
That's true.
But
You
I
can
just,
not talk about it. I mean,
honestly,
I
I
can
would
solo cast
prefer
from
that.
here.
because talking about it is gonna make me very
Okay.
sad.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. I like meatballs with spaghetti, preferably. But yeah.
Hey, we have a conversation here.
There's a card. Okay,
Tolvir with Power Word Shield does help.
it does. It brings you somewhere.
And the Restless Mummy could kill it, but that's at least one thing extended.
And the coin.
Yep.
I wonder.
And back to food. So,
Yeah, that's still sad. That's still very sad.
spaghetti and meatballs is your favorite.
Yeah, that's my Big
Oh,
fan,
you're a
big
classic
fan.
guy. Production, what's
Yeah.
your favorite food?
I mean, what's yours first? You're asking the question, and you
Well,
can
I'm from
talk.
NA. Well, he can talk too if you want.
I mean, you can. We can relay the information.
Yeah, we can relay. I'm just a simple kind of person. I'm from NA. I love a good burger. I don't like anything on the burger though. I like.
Oh no, same. Yeah.
I like once in a while I'll add ketchup, but that's it.
No, yeah. I'm lettuce, onions, cheese.
Oh, I don't even do that. I just do meat and bread.
Okay.
I like the seasoning of a good patty, like the poached of a bun. I like a crunchy, juicy burger. Okay, so they're gonna power word shield here. So
If I were to shooting onto the next set, just to
yeah, okay.
make sure that if this coin play does happen,
No tune
more
can
stuff
hold me.
has to go into it. But everything still
Board will
dies,
be
and the attorney will stay alive.
So what's a good dessert that you like when you have your ideal meal? Apparently spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
Do you have garlic bread with it, or do you not have anything?
Yes, I'll try some garlic bread on the side, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
100%. Cheesecake. Let's go for a nice cheesecake.
Ooh, New York style, or
What is a loon's will?
Couldn't tell you the difference between that and not, so.
fair enough. What?
Do you play, quickly on the game, do you play both your minis here, or do you play the one drop and arms it?
You just gotta go wide on board as much as you can, because the more
wonder.
the more early game resources that they have to extend. Now that the coin is gone, they know for a fact that turn 4 there's no coin dynomatic, so that's something that they have to develop on board and just see if they can get it off. Because the following turn they'll be able to at least arm something.
Yeah, one in arms is a big risk of just getting shield slammed. Just
Okay.
going for the.
Or if they just hear power shield slam, or the weapons project as well, which will make it even further from being able to kill them. Nah, they're just gonna hear power shield slam. Fair enough.
Yeah, you have Harris in the deck, so the weapons.
Injured Tolvir!
So they can.
Injured Tolvir, they do it. What can they come back from that though? Because okay, so
they can
double Divine Spirit. They Divine Spirit back to 6.
Light Warden heal.
In the light's name.
I think is that right?
Yep. That's true.
Which, I mean, the Dynamatic has to... It's going to unlikely kill either of them, so the bump will have to come in to the top of it, I imagine. And then you do obviously have the Dynamatic on board.
They'll have to pay the toll here.
What other options? Lighting up the brawl? No, okay, yeah, I was going to say that's so the Togepi survives. Yeah. Can get healed Psycho Bob. They're starting to do something, but I think it might be too little too late.
No, they could double arms here for the injured Tolvier, and that would make it harder to get rid of. So next turn they would double Snip Snap, and it wouldn't really help them much, because that would be another 4, that would be 7.
I wonder.
+2, 2, 6. Yeah, they would still die, though, but these Snip Snap would be able to go wide, so they don't have Pyromancers in their mind.
Yeah,
I'm kind of talking to myself at this moment.
You Psycho
In the light's name.
probably that, and then you heal.
Yeah, most ideal.
And you start getting something, but I mean, this 3 damage Warpath is looking real tasty.
Oh, Zillion!
Because this 3 damage Warpath kills everything.
In the light's name.
And leaves your opponent with a handful of spells and nothing to cast them on. There is a minion to cast a spell. But it's not a particularly happy one.
Light Warden double arms and die to Zilliax.
I wonder.
So production, still, question, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? What is that?
Welcome to one side of a conversation
Yeah.
with Bemi, your host.
Yeah. Wait, how do you say that food? Milanesas.
Oh, yeah. This turn is so sad, and yeah, they're just waiting for a minion that isn't a 1-2. That doesn't just die on board.
You mean like Northshire Cleric?
Yeah, and also like Armet would be real nice.
What is Milanesas?
There was a brawl in the Warriors' hand. I'm trying.
I am so uninterested in this game. I apologize.
It isn't the most interesting game.
I mean, to be fair, we can talk about this game, but it's like it's us circling around the conversation of just like they're dead.
Yeah.
There's no way of coming back.
It's just
how long can this go on? Serenite Chain Gang, Psychopomp is something. It could bring back an Injitolvir, and then we would be business. Like literally, it could be Injitolvir, Divine. No, they can't even. It would just be Injitolvir, Divine, and then
and then they get brawled and they lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, they could just Psychopomp and then arms.
The Psychopomp, I think you have to Psychopomp and see what's in the box.
Maybe you Psychopomp Light Warden, just go wide, just hope that you win the brawl. Or, well, I mean, actually, if they play if they arms the Injitolvir, then basically what happens is that the Injitolvir will get high enough that you could literally trade the Snip Snaps and then get Microbots, and then you have pretty much a chance that you would win the brawl.
Yeah, even if it's just a 1-1, that's the best outcome.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
Food is a really interesting subject.
The end.
In the light's name.
That's not a
Not even a
Tolvier.
Tolvier. Yeah.
That's not a Tolvier, which is very sad. It is a 3-2.
Yeah,
The heal.
may as well heal their opponent's face. I'm sorry, London. I really love you. Can I just make like a disclaimer real quick? I really do love London, but it just feels terrible what's happening to them. Oh no!
In the light's name.
Yeah, we have to be getting into concede territory pretty soon here. Because it is.
This is awful. Oh well, I mean, Power Word Shield could draw them death, or Pyromancer, which would clear like 1 or 2 things. And
They
then
have-
back
What
to other
is
things.
a loon's will?
Loon's will is for you to just click the red button, I guess. I mean, this is a terrible hand. This is just not coming back for it. London are, I mean, they're not out of the competition. Like, they still have a chance next week to make it to playoffs, but
Yeah. They have 19
I
cards
wonder.
in this deck. 19 minions in this deck, and they've drawn 7 of them.
how is that possible?
It's
I
it's
got-
sad.
I'm really sorry,
Pretty bad.
Tester.
I'm
sorry to everybody.
I'm desperately trying to find a way that London can win the thing, but
I don't know what else we could talk about here. Like
I
this.
don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Toaster's throwing his hands up. I'm kind of putting my hand in my face, and we're just like,
Save the best for last.
Play your biggest minions. Go face. He's even throwing in the 1 damage from the Super Collider because he might as well. A minion that draws him more minions that aren't a Wild Pyromancer because it has too much attack.
In the light's name.
all right, Landlord. Better draw something good here.
A spell.
No. Oh
Job's done.
Well, that was.
It is finished. You win.
No, I never see those priest games on ladder when I'm against them. Why don't I ever see those priest games on ladder? When
no. I
I'm
only
against them?
see Quest Priest.
Yeah, I see a lot of that as well.
Weird.
Yeah, so Control Warrior takes the 3 wins in a row.
Yep.
Putting
Well-
Cape Town up to that 4-2 score. London in pretty sad spell drawing fashion.
Yeah,
And to
that
3-3.
was depressing.
Whew.
I don't know if I could stomach that. I feel bad. So, like, London's not out of the competition, but man, that was very unfortunate. Now, Cape Town, I think they qualified. No, they're still
Yeah.
3-3.
Oh yeah, because last week they were So they're free. Both of these teams go to 3-3. So Cape Town,
3-3,
both
so-
of them are going to be looking for that win next week. And with the Swiss format, there's a good chance they may be seeing each other again. Unless
possibly,
Your
if there's-
system goes against that.
I think it does, but I don't know.
Okay.
I leave it to the will of the gods.
The computer.
Yeah, the computer. But yeah, so that's gonna be it. So Helsinki losing to Brussels to going 3-1 and qualifying for playoffs as well. No, actually, Brussels did not qualify for playoffs. Brussels, where are you, Brussels? No, they did qualify. They
Yeah.
super qualified. Both of them.
Oh yeah,
qualified.
they are
That was the match for seeding. Got it.
very
Yeah.
qualified. Is what
London still fighting for that. They could have qualified, but Cape Town drugged them down with them, and now they could potentially not make it to playoffs. But there's still a good chance. Next tomorrow, we're going Berlin Lethal versus the Oslo Knights, and Vienna Legendaries versus the Amsterdam Totems. Vienna and Amsterdam. They're both. Oh, this is really just the drag down matches. Either you sink or you swim, because Vienna's 3-2, and then Amsterdam is 2-3. So basically, it's either Amsterdam drags them down with them, tries to qualify for themselves, or Vienna just barely makes it and they make it into top 6. And then sort of the same thing with Oslo Knights, I think. Let's see, Berlin is actually both of these. Okay, so this is the ones where like they will be. That's an elimination match. Berlin and Oslo are both 2-3. So if somebody goes X4, they are out. Like Stockholm Silverhands are pretty much done.
Tomorrow is a big day then for all of these teams.
It's going to be intense. It's going to be really exciting. But that is going to be it for today. I have been Bemmy. That's been Omni Toasters. Super shout out to the new family member of House Rivalries, Shada. Thank you for coming on and for doing production today.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, until then, be sure to follow our Twitters and drop a follow. Subscribe to the channel if you want to support House Rivalry stuff. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next time.
Good night.
Or good afternoon. Good morning.